欢迎收看神秘文怪事，大家好，我是团长。没有订阅的朋友，请按下订阅按钮，谢谢大家。加入我们优秀神秘文怪事团，拜托大家用力按下订阅，拜托大家。大家可留言告诉我。各位优秀神秘文怪事团团员，大家好，感谢团员新进团员耐心等待，再次感谢所有团员支持本频道。影片中英语翻译中文不容易。本频道制作不容易，拜托大家帮忙加入。我上一集影片讲到，四平小宅尸臭冲天，打开保冷箱9颗头曝光，日本最变态推特杀手。没有看过新朋友，我建议先看上一集，我把上一集影片放在说明栏。今天让我带你们进入今天的故事吧。你能想象真的有恶魔附身的事情吗？甚至还因为附身夺走了人命。接下来时间带你回到1980年代的美国康乃狄克州。11岁的男孩大卫帮子搬家，但是回家之后完全像是被附身一样，变了另外一个人，不止发出野兽般的低吼，甚至还有严重的攻击行为。而妈妈找神父帮忙驱魔却不见好转，因此他们找上了驱魔专家华伦夫妇。华伦夫妇他们来到现场巡视了整栋房子，发现屋子的后头有一口古井，而且里面就藏着恶魔。当天大卫因为误闯禁地才会被附身，而眼看小男童的状况有一个恶魔，而是多达了43个才会让男孩失去控制。而大卫子的男友厄恩心疼男童小年纪就被恶魔附身，他竟然大胆地向恶魔提出挑战。而究竟他说了什么让华伦夫妇直说，这真的是犯了致命的错误。
A man who was arrested last month in Connecticut for murder says that he will plead innocent because he was possessed by the devil at the time he committed the crime.
You can't hurt God's child. This is gonna die in hell. I'm sorry. Heaven.
然而这一连串事件要从厄恩女友家11岁的小弟弟大卫开始说起。听到这家人看了看四周，完全没有任何异状，也没有闯入的陌生人。是孩子调皮想逃避打扫，但真的只是开玩笑吗？大卫回家之后辗转难眠，他一直感觉到有个神秘力量不断的朝他靠近，远处盯住他看。
I said to David, what is this figure telling you? He keeps telling me beware. I said, beware of what? And he kept telling me he wants my soul.
那一天后，孩子接二连三情绪失控，像变了一个人一样，而且情况一次比一次严重，让笃信天主教的妈妈请神父驱魔，也找来驱魔夫妻华伦夫妇帮忙。他们也带着医生上门，先对孩子做身体检查以及心理测验，结果完全正常。
Dr. Tony never said that I was off my rocker or anything like that. He said I was a normal kid.
身体没有任何异状，难道真有邪灵恶魔找上男童了吗？
You. Who are you and what are you? Come on, Fiona. Come on, Fiona. Come on. Get out. Come on. Let's go. Get out of this. Get out of my son. Get out of my son. I'm your mother. I will die.
That was one of the most frightening evenings of my life. There was not one devil, there were 43 of them.
43
which
devils.
came to me as a kaleidoscope, as if you were watching one horrible face after another.
I yelled at this thing to the top of my lungs. I said, leave this little kid alone, take me on. I'm here, take me on.
就在一瞬间，厄恩和大卫对视之后，恶魔就像是从男孩身上离开，一切都恢复了平静。然而厄恩当下看到了什么，让华伦夫妻说他犯下了致命的错误。
But he made a fatal mistake. One night he said, and he screamed at these devils, take me on, leave my little buddy alone. Well, he got his wish.
He challenged it.
直到子子的男友厄恩突然走向这名被附身的小男童，对住附在他身上的恶魔说：“离开男孩吧，来找我吧。”男童这时候才终于恢复平静。然而平静的日子并没有维持多久，就在几个月后，厄恩在一场聚会上和房东起了冲突，他朝住房东猛刺了22刀，而当他回过神来，他已经逼他这么做的。而华伦夫妇也表示他们愿意出庭作证，让这起案件也成为美国史上第一件恶魔附身杀人案。但是法官会采信吗？厄恩跟女友黛比搬离了原本的租屋处，暂住在狗狗旅馆上的空房。因为华伦夫妻巡视那栋出事的房子，在后方发现有一口古井，就是恶魔的藏身处，怀疑男童误闯禁地才会发生怪事。但又有一说在屋子底下有个女巫图腾，可能是撒旦教徒故意留下，才会导致。
This is Officer Thomas.
My name is Lorraine Warren. I know how this is going to sound, but there's going to be a tragedy at the Brookfield boarding county.
And she said, I see serious injury or death with a knife. She wanted to put us on notice that a crime could occur, that she actually, I want to make it clear, she said, I see this happening as a psychic. And lo and behold, apparently it was real.
警方接获报案有凶杀案，立刻出动前往。就在距离现场3公里外的公路旁，看到眼神呆滞的厄恩，警员立刻把他拦下。
Remember that when you challenge the demonic, it doesn't act at that particular given time, Tony. It waits until you are the most vulnerable.
厄恩的女友黛比还有华伦夫妻都深信他是被恶魔附身才会杀人，但所有证据都指向就是厄恩。他的辩护律师能接受恶魔附身吗？
Proven it to the church. This is a court of law. The standards of evidence are completely different.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
How are you going to convince a jury if you can't even convince me?
华伦夫妻费尽口舌要说服律师辩护，也表明愿意出庭作证，尽管有英国的判决先例，但要怎么证明是被恶魔附身？难道恶魔可以在法庭上现行吗？
The defense attorney in Connecticut will try to prove his client is not guilty of murder because the 19-year-old defendant allegedly said that he was possessed by the devil at the time of the killing.
19-year-old Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, with no previous history of violence, is charged with the knifing murder of his landlord, Alan Bono, and claims he was possessed by demons at the time and doesn't remember doing it.
I did not see no stabbing take place. I was right in the middle of it.
What did you witness?
Just a lot of pushing and shoving.
Then what?
And then all hell broke loose.
The devil made me do it. That's precisely what criminal lawyer Martin Manella says he will try to prove when his client comes to trial.
The nature of our defense is one that has been used in England, has never been used in the United States, the defense of demonic possession.
的确，这成为美国史上首宗以恶魔附身为由辩护的案子，但检察官可不吃神鬼这套。
This is a case which the media has and the Warrens have spent a good deal of time publicizing for their own, I would suspect, financial interest. But as far as I am concerned, this is a routine to the extent it's possible to have a routine homicide.
The judge listened to precedents, to arguments, and then he said that demonic possession is not an acceptable defense. It is irrelevant in this case and in courts in the United States. It is not a science, and he will permit no evidence on demonic possession and devil.
I felt abandoned, didn't have the chance to tell the whole truth. But they would never allow the truth, so felt lost. What do we do now?
由于警方提出厄恩妹妹的具名口供，他们看到厄恩拿刀刺被害人， 如果他这么做是被恶魔附身，这句话不成立。那事实就剩下他刺伤他，辩护律师眼看恶魔附身，陪审团不采信，为了不被判至少25年以上刑期的谋杀罪，律师建议承恩改口，是酒后争执，出于防卫才会误杀了被害人。审判结果，厄恩被依照过失杀人罪判处10到20年的有期徒刑。他入狱服刑期间与女友黛比结婚，并在5年后出狱。整起案件更被出版成书。尽管有人质疑这件恶魔逼我杀人的辩护是华伦夫妻穿凿编撰，但发生了种种超自然现象，让当事人深信不疑有恶魔的存在。谜团虽然难以置信，但在科学家让这起世纪悬案多了分想象空间，或许人类就能解开许多难解的谜团，也留给团员无限想象，埋藏着无数科学难以解释的神秘事件。在这里，人类显得渺小又无力，背后的谜团让人想不清也猜不透。是否有未知力量的助力，有待解答。是真是假，只能说信者恒信了。至今仍是人类想要解开的重大谜团，许多人还是选择宁可信其有，请大家自行判断。希望您会喜欢今天主题，也欢迎在下方留言分享你对这些的看法。大家帮我按赞、订阅、开小铃铛，谢谢。感谢收看，下次再见。